intel reports Hassan and the cartel forming terrorist cells all over the globe.
We've never seen activity on this scale before.
Enemies above! Field charge! Eyes on the hole! Good going!
Do not let them comfortable. Check him out!
Beautiful caustics, there's waves with white caps, but we also, the gameplay side, there's unique ballistics underwater. You only can use certain weapons underwater. Your pistol is your weapon underwater, otherwise you can't use your primary weapons. But it's also a nice cover or evasion mechanic. If you're getting shot at, you can dive into the water, and as you get deeper, it gets murkier. Like the farther you are from something, you can't see it. And so it's been super fun for us to dig into water and really flex on what water could be in Call of Duty. And you saw the boats and the mine that floats, and every piece of equipment has been filtered. Like, how does it work through water? Like, we had to look at every shooter. Fluid movement is super important to us. So this game, as you saw in the trailer, you can see here on the video, we have a new ledge hang mechanic, and that's essentially a high mantle. But instead of doing a high mantle and throwing yourself up over into combat, you can now peek. If you have a pistol, you can pull that pistol out and use that. We also added a dive. You know, last game we had the slide that kept your gun up, but we really wanted players to have an option where if they're getting shot at, they don't know where they're getting shot at, they can get down, get out of fire. But the other really cool thing is the dive's just high throw out, and it basically sits there, and if a player gets close to it, it auto-deploys and basically inflates like a car airbag going off. And it faces the person that triggered it, and so it's a great distraction technique. You can also fire it off with a clacker, and if you want to control when it goes off, you can throw it in water. And here you just saw the DDoS. We added all this equipment into this game, and the DDoS is our kind of answer of like, hey, I'm going to breach this building. I want to go clean house, but I don't want to deal with all the shit inside. So I'm going to hit the DDoS. Boom! It's going to shut down everything. I can move in, and clear that room. You saw the heartbeat sensor is back. It's got a new look. But it also has a battery as a balancing mechanic, so you can't use it indefinitely in Warzone. And there's
this is the tac can too.
Yeah,
you guys saw, which universal attachments through cross progression. So we saw a lot of really positive feedback from the community yesterday. This is sort of intended to, decrease the grind. You're no longer unlocking every single attachment for every single weapon. There will be some shared attachments through progression, and I'm really excited to see the streamers and the content creators jump into this today. I know we all love the gun bench from 2019, so it's exciting.
This does sound amazing. So we've been hearing a little bit about weapon platforms and shared attachments. This is very, very cool stuff. Can you dive into those details though, Jeremy? What can we expect?
Yeah, I can add a little bit of what Stephanie said.
In town, in the south coast of our big map, and we picked this because it has such a great mix of gameplay. It's right on a harbor, so we get to show off all our boats and our new amphibious APC, and swimming, as we've already said. But what you get inside the town is this really intense urban combat with all these tight little alleyways and all this great rooftop combat. And mixed with our ledge hang, you get these really cool parkour combat action happening.
Yeah, I love how you describe the...
do you mind giving us some details on this one? Sure.
Macarta is a little street market in a historic section in Mexico. Our story behind this is, the authorities have some intel that narcotics are being smuggled out of a warehouse, and they're going in trying to find and seize them. This map plays really fast and a lot of action right down that center lane. The Mercado is a very dangerous neck of the woods, so watch out when you're
Big War map. It's Big War TDM. We affectionately call it the shipment of ground war. It's 20v20 players, but there's also 20 AI on each team. AI are coming in fast roping. They're coming in on medium birds. And it's this high action mode. It's super fun, but it's also really chill. The announcer's not barking at you. He's not saying like, hey, get to B, they're taking C. You can kind of play it how you want to play it. You sit up on a rooftop and snipe. You can grab a shotgun and go room clearing. If you push too far into the two prisoners, they're kind of spread out, and they need to keep hold of them. The goal of the attackers is to get to those prisoners, pick them up, and carry them to exfil. When you pick them up, you enter what's called a wounded carry, where they're up on your shoulders and you can't use your primary weapons. Instead, you have to use a pistol if you brought it, or you're just stuck with fists. But the way that we give the attackers an advantage once they grab that O2, it's been a pet project for us, right? We've always wanted to do the third person, and all while we're working on all this other stuff, we've been kind of lifting up and doing third person in each mode. And the cool thing is that it's a modifier on our game, right? We can just turn on third person. In the beta, we're playing it in hardpoint, but we want to try it post-launch in S&D. We want to try it in VR. And we have
down and out, but we are playing, I believe this is Hardpoint and Mercado, names.
Yeah, you know, I didn't get to play this map yesterday, but one thing I just want to point out with this game is it's a lot more vibrant than some of the MMO games that we've had in the past. There's so many more colors, and that's something that I always enjoy, especially with Call of Duty. When it's more vibrant, you can see more on the map.
I think sometimes you go dev to dev, and yeah, it's like you have like your more realism, like your grays and brows. Some will have a little bit more color, but like this map in particular, yeah, the second we saw like the fly-through of this, I mean, it just looks gorgeous. It really does. And I'm not that I had any concerns about the visual side of it because they're knocking it out of the park every year, but it's just aesthetically pleasing. It is.
It's very, very pretty. That is, of course, Dr. Lupo. You can watch him stream this live. Every single member of the crazy, I don't even have a name for it, the stream pit here, COD Next, all of them live on their own channels, and unreal, man.
Yeah, it's unreal. I mean, all these guys are going hard. You can see he's locked in. Talk a little bit about the game and the movement, though. When I first hopped on yesterday, movement felt so much different than Call of Duty in the past. You know, it's not that slide cancel. You got to complete your slide. The dive mechanic, it plays out so much different when you're going into a gunfight. You can dive out of a window. Miles, it was a lot of fun. We were getting into the mix.
We really did get into the mix. I'm going to tell this now on air in front of God knows how many people, but last night, Ninja wasn't in the venue. I played on his set. I wasn't quite here yet. And I found there was an in-game, like, whisper feed. So I was sending messages to other creators as Ninja, talking horrendous, like horrendous trash talk. All very good-natured, friends of mine, you know, but it'd be kind of weird to get that from Ninja, right?
Yeah, does Ninja know you did this?
He has no idea. I
walk up and slap him.
I walked past him today and I was like, "Good morning, dude. How you been?" He's like, "Hey, man." Not a single word. Ali, not a word.
Not a word. I actually got into a game against you specifically. I was on, I believe, Nate shot streaming account. I don't believe that he's here today, but I was getting disrespectful with some people on the map, and I believe that you were in my last game, and the second I killed you, you left. I remember looking at the leaderboard, and
that wasn't me. That was Ninja.
A quitter, Miles.
It was Ninja. I've got a courage now. He's having a good time.
And you know what?
Listen, he is, as much as he's like a fun, good-loving, like everyone thinks of Jack, it's just like this great-natured guy. He is one of those competitive human beings I've ever met. Like, he gets pissed, bro.
Passion. Raging passion. And look, it's me on the right side. No.
And I will have to say, to test to what Ant was talking about earlier, about the game mechanics, something else that I noticed that I don't feel like I felt in other Call of Duty games is how kind of realistic the movement with your gun is, if that makes sense. Like, there's obviously always going to be recoil, your attachment's always going to mess with that, but when you peek corners and stuff, the way your gun moves with you is very, very realistic, and I think that's going to be something a lot of these players are going to notice and have to get used to very quickly.
And you saw a taste there of when you're spectating a player, you get that kind of like over-the-shoulder, like tactical camera view, and it just adds this insane level of like, it's like realism, but like it just looks so exciting to watch. And when you're, enjoying like, maybe seeing your teammates play or whatnot, it just looks so cool. It's a nice new feature here in the game. And sorry, Clint, this is the new knockout mode. I don't think you might not know what this means.
I haven't seen this one yet.
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
No. I mostly, I was watching some of the guys play. I just wanted to kind of live react and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much new stuff. Like, I've just been looking forward to seeing what's going to be on the table. But let's see if Jack can actually step it up this time. No, not going to happen. Just getting destroyed. I'm sorry. Superior positioning, Jack. You are awful. Oh, was that too hard? He's my...
No.
Okay.
He's doing the classic. He's going to his set. He's doing the classic.
It was something else. It was something else. It wasn't.
Oh, my sensitivity or something? What is it?
No.
Wherever he's spectating, he's using my favorite SMG. That's right. I think that's the
Hurricane.
Hurricane.
What did you think, by the way, just about the changes to Gunsmith and now having 5 attachments and not having,
Yeah, so I saw the rumblings on Twitter and stuff like that. I think it's amazing. I mean, when we jumped into Modern Warfare experience and they introduced the Gunsmith, there was a lot to take in. But now we're just familiar with it, especially grinding Warzone, switching up those attachments, and it's just a better version of that.
A good middle ground.
It's just a better version of that, right? Like the gun moves around with you as you're in there. You can switch out all these different attachments. attachments, and you know, for the class of weapon that you have, like you can change it up, turn a M4 into an SMG. Like that's really cool.
Oh, this is
that was nearly a snap.
That was nearly gross.
One of the all-time greats in the competitive Call of Duty.
One of the maybe the,
if not the. Yeah, I don't know why I said it that way.
Like the all-time
great.
Yeah,
he's the greatest. But there we go. Swag now getting involved as well. And to your point of Anali about Gunsmith, I mean, it's at this point in time obviously it's quite hard to recognize, but that is a part of the M4 platform right now. That's his primary weapon.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Like, you can switch it up. Like, you can make it into a sniper, I think is what I heard as well, right? So it's going to be crazy. Even with the AK, turning 74U, just make some crazy different loadouts. You know, some of these guys, J-God's going to have so much fun with that.
9.5-hour long attachment video from J-God.
Oh, God. You know, he's so excited about that. And I want to talk about the map aesthetics for a moment and, like, the layout. Is the rooftops, like the new ledge, how you can jump and then you can hang off the side of the ledge. That's a new thing that you can add into this game. You can jump from rooftop to rooftop, and like you can jump further than you think. And I found that out very quickly. Like I would get to an edge of a rooftop, and I was like, I wonder if I can make this jump. You can make the jump. You can make it across like the map. If there's tall buildings, you can make it across the map without ever having to touch the ground. And I think for snipers, that is going to be their absolute playground.
Speaking of snipers, Pomage now, who's having a great time here. I mean, we've seen a lot, Clint, of the weapons so far, but surely a sniper.
Well, I heard Pomage too. Like I stepped up. I think it's when he was first walking in. He was walking with an Irrational into people, and he was like, "I'm going hard, bro."
Oh yeah.
He's like, "I'm going hard." I could just hear like the competitiveness in him.
He's
going hard. Right.
And this is this knockout game is not going very well for the red team right now. Pomage's team obviously winning this one. Again, secure the grab, the money bag, hold on to that bad boy. Oh, I forgot, friends. Here at Cloud Next, it's all going on. Mobile gaming on the right side of your screen. We've got all of it going on. Really, a celebration of everything that is Call of Duty, and even courage you may have destroyed.
Do you see the?
Yeah, they're
professionals, true professionals.
Wait, do I probably need to get this? I've been playing some COD Mobile, Diablo Immortal. Like, I've been grinding more mobile games. I have my iPad, I'm loving it. Do I need to get a little thumb sleeves?
I think you should, yeah.
You know, sometimes it gets a little bit slippery. I need thumb sleeves. What are they called? Thumb sleeves.
You're in the right place to ask about that. There is an army of...
Oh, I'm looking into that. No, that's actually an issue. It's like, it's a little bit slippery, you know?
So they're playing some hardpoint here, and you know, obviously, us coming from the esports side of things, we love hardpoint. Miles, we were talking about this morning, when there's a hardpoint and there's some elevation above it, you can dive into it, turn around, land on your belly, and absolutely fry. So, you know, there are some movement mechanics for you speed demons out there if you want to make some plays.
Yeah, there's a lot of talks about, you know, the way slide works now, and of course the dolphin dive is back. I don't think we're not officially calling it a dolphin dive, it's Joe Scott calling it the dive itself. I mean, it's a really fun mechanic. It's fast. We get to see some gameplay with it. I've actually been walking around talking with some of the sort of the CDL pros, like, hey guys, try to stop sliding, try to dive a bit more. Come on, Butters, show us the dive.
Show us the slide, now we're looking for the
Right out the window, just dive out the window, send it.
And all the windows are built to be diveable through. Like, that's the way the game is.
That's what Joe was kind of saying, right? Like, they've seen so much on playtesting, and he goes into a window, like, everybody spins it out.
So I think like, one of the exciting moments you're going to have, Butters can be sniping. That's the, so we have the Hurricane, which is running over to it. That's going to be on the M4 platforms, and the sniper on the other side. And we have,
look.
And there we go, testing things out, trying to find the sneakiest, fastest way across the map.
I couldn't. I was trying to see if I could break the slide.
No slide.
Well, that works out. Yeah, look at her face. She's just like going around, testing out the movement. Someone runs right in front of her. That works out. Give me a freebie.
You know what I'm noticing on this map that I actually like a lot? Not as many doors. Just running through.
Not as many doors, I think, in general, is the overall vibe. I mean, most of the maps we've seen so far are quite small, very fast-paced. Again, Jeff talking about that, you've got a very distinct feel. So it's like the battle map is very large. Way more intense action. Of course, there's like invasion stuff. 6v6 is a totally different flavor. I mean, that obviously excites us more than maybe it should most.
Oh, I mean, we love it, right? Like we're here to see people go hard, try to win, be competitive, and
okay.
Another thing, we're seeing a lot of elevation on some of these maps too. The snipers are really good.
Yeah, I think it's max 2 stories, I believe. I could be completely wrong there, but
hit it.
Also, look at that little stock.
Did you guys use the sniper yesterday?
Yeah, right?
No, I didn't.
I used it for a whole
Cutest
invasion
little
map.
stock I've ever seen.
So
I think we were in the same game too.
yeah, I was in the back sniping.
I can't wait for the sort of like anime skins and stuff like that, like cute little stocks. We can put skins on individual attachments now when it comes to making some very,
This
very
is my favorite map.
handsome looking
Oh,
weapons.
Dylan's right. Speaking of handsome.
Oh,
Also, something we haven't talked about yet is the way the perks work. I
love the perks
because it
system.
reminds me of back in the day the specialists. As you get those, you get more perks. As time goes on, you're gonna have 2 base perks. You can pick whatever you want. As time goes on, you get another perk. As time goes on, you're gonna get an ultimate perk as well. So it's actually it's completely new. They've redone it, and it's gonna be sweet.
Well, the reason I think I haven't really played it yet to deal with it too much to see like how vastly different it makes the gameplay, but I know for a lot of us, when you're playing like the multiplayer experience, I feel like you get a couple perks you like, and you just sort of pick those. They're your go-to. You don't really think about it, right? Like, you figure that out in the first couple days or weeks of playing the game. Those are your perks. Now it's like, I feel like there's more decision-making that goes into it, which I personally think is exciting. Now, I don't know what I'm going to be running, but it does feel like they were saying, what was it, the different type of classes they were trying to put? You have your rusher, kind of your more stealth type player, your sentinel. Like they want to, even if it's not like class-based per se, like they want to kind of funnel it with that behind the perks. So I think that's pretty dope.
But you can also make your own, so you can create it, pick your own 2 perks, your next one, and your ultimate, so you can figure out what you want. And it's just nice having like a rewarding game, especially when you're frying an extra perk.
it really does, change when you start off with the base 2.
Yeah.
You unlock one after, the period of time. You kill some points, the game progresses slowly, so no matter how you're playing, you're going to get your perks eventually. But obviously, higher scoring game, you're going to get more. And it's just really interesting. Again, and the perks are almost tiered. And again, Jeff and Joe from the desk later on talk about this in way more detail. But the idea that, like, the first few perks, they're fine. They sort of help out the gameplay. That mid-tier perk, way more sort of impactful. And that final perk, like, kind of like the super perk. That's not going to turn you into Captain America, but it is going to make you way more effective.
I don't want to be Captain America.
Means right now. Taking Jeff and Joe's thunder.
Symphony was just on the screen, so.
What?
There it is. Listen,
picture there.
Yeah, 2 million views on TikTok, something like that. It's impressive stuff.
That's what you're watching? In your free time?
Yes, it might be. It might
Okay.
be.
Watching them.
It's Brooke's TikTok, she's very creative.
This is a Search and Destroy and Call of Duty Classic on 18.
This looks cool.
This is one of the maps we saw in an Intel drop not too long ago. Ooh, let's go. This is simply spectating Ash Sanders.
And of course, we're talking about like 3-lane maps. This is one of those maps that felt like a very good hybrid 3-lane map that does really, really well when it comes to a game with like their Search and Destroy. Like you have your traditional outer lanes, and they have their hidden corners, and they have their ways, and then that middle is just pure chaos. It's kind of like a little bit of like, it reminds me of like a paintball range with all the walls and the corners that there are. So this is probably one of my favorite maps that we are playing right now in the beta testing. And as you can see, everybody is having so much fun on it. I mean, 4 and 5, everybody's doing pretty okay. It's a close game. Aiden has 14 kills. I just saw the kill board. He's on the other team.
Mason just realized he's on the stream that he's ready to get nasty. He's going in.
Oh, he's fully loaded. Look at the bottom of all his perks.
He is perked up. Quite literally.
Come on, Mason. Show me something special.
He's flying.
Oh, wow. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, no!
That's the Fennec. I was loving that one yesterday.
Oh!
I think
That's an OG one.
that turns people into super close range. That Corny Hop just gave it to the sticks.
Nice try, Mason. We still love you.
It's such a different look. Like when you spectate these players with jump and stuff, like the way the player animations are, the sound effects, like the game has just been like it's everything we liked about MW19, all the stuff that was already there existing, and they've just been. I mean, it's Salt Bay right on top, just hammering away, sweet seasoning top to bottom.
Well,
and it was a close game, and now it's done.
He looked very sneaky, and then he was just evaporated.
I gotta say, the bunny hop is back in full force.
Oh, yeah.
Man, the bunny hop is clean. We know Sam Maru Octane. Gotta give him a shout out. He's gonna be bunny hopping all day. We got Myth on the screen here. He's using M4, I think.
Again, looking at these weapons, you know it's an M4, but the configuration he has.
I was using the bigger sight, the double. I forget the name of it. The extra suit.
And of course, Ghost Streak's cruise missile back. A lot of fan favorites, Clint. I mean, everything you would expect from a Modern Warfare game is there.
We get to see one. That'll connect. Myth able to hit it. He's vibing right now. But it's crazy. Like, bottom right, you were kind of mentioning like how different the mental looks. The same type of gun is based on the attachments that it has.
As a sort of in-game settings where you can make your gun a little more narrow, wide wider, further away. I mean, there's options, you know, just create that sort of visual. The thing you want the game to be as appealing as possible for you. Maybe you don't want to be so big to obscure the view.
I'm
Maybe one of those players.
There is to tweak it how I want, right?
There's a lot of sections in this game.
I'm gonna get lost in that for the entire first day, probably.
Once campaign hits, I'll spend about 3.5 hours messing with settings and then get my best.
When I see Courage on a live stream, that pop up at the top of the screen. It might have Courage might be popping off. Oh well, he just died. Take it back.
Ooh.
Come on, Swag.
Swag's done.
Hit it.
Swag.
Yeah, this sub looks like it's down.
Also, all the sounds and everything when you level up guns.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is there. I mean,
I wish everyone could experience just this environment, though. Like, especially where the gameplay and stuff, and how cool it's been. Because, like, a lot of these content creators, like, they're friends or they're familiar with each other. They play games online, but like, it's not often you get them all in one place like this. And it has just been a vibe. Seeing everybody going up, some meeting for the first time. Like, I know Iceman and Isaac. We have interacted so many times on social. I've never met him in person, dude. We hugged for a solid 30 seconds. It was beautiful.
And it just shows like how hyped people get for Call of Duty. I was like, I can't believe I still get this amped for Call of Duty after over 10 years.
I don't think many things like bring everybody together like this. It is special.
The beta starts tomorrow in case you've been living under a rock. Or if you just join the stream.
Yeah, one of the two.
One of the two. There's no in between. User interface has been completely changed as well. Dead silence available on that lower right-hand side. There's a lot more sort of clean changes. Of course, the menu system, which you might not have seen here on the main context stream, but individual streamers see them going through weapon loadout, see the operators there. So many cool changes. A lot more of a streamlined experience. It's sexy. That's not a lot of ways to describe it.
I love that, especially like quick start. You don't know load after switch weapons. It looks good. You see everything. It's just right in front of your face. You know exactly what's there. Digestible, and that's what you need. It's such a fast-paced game like Call of Duty.
I'm super enjoyed that like it doesn't obscure too much of the in-game screen. So if, like, if I'm hitting pause and checking stuff out, I still have some kind of like situational awareness in the game.
And I will say in terms of balance of like ARs and SMGs, of course this is all of our first peeks into it, but they've looked pretty balanced so far. Like the SMGs have been absolutely disgusting up close, whether the AR gets first shot or not. And at long range, the SMGs haven't been ripping as well. The recoil gets insane at that sort of range. So I feel like it looks like the gun balance as well, regardless of your attachments and what configuration you end up coming with, is fairly much there.
I love that because, I mean, it just feels like sometimes it turns into this one gun that can do everything. Yeah. Right? And I think everyone appreciates a little bit of variety. Like an AR
that's
feels like
quite
an AR,
literally what this game is, because you can change your gun up to whatever you want, right? So
well, in a way, yeah, but like I think to Dally's point, like there seems to be a little more separation.
Like I haven't seen the do-it-all gun just yet.
I mean, we saw Aiden, of course, from the Manager Green Carpet, like, I want a broken shotgun. And I'm sure he can make it, but broken, we'll find out what that really means. Of course, as the game develops, he wants to sawn off the kills people across the map and makes them move real fast. I mean, hey, who knows? Gunwolf is crazy. 2.0 is crazy.
Well, I mean,
we'll see if he can do it.
Wild. I mean, no matter how much work has gone into this, we've got the nerds in the building, and this is where if anyone's going to test some stuff, find some weird combination that turns a shotgun into a sniper. This is the crew that's going to do
only
it.
scratched the surface.
Oh yeah,
he touched it for 20 minutes. What people are going to do with this gun?
That's just not enough.
Not enough. No idea what these guys are going to come up with.
I need a good sort of 2 to 3 hours.
Look at Chef Tony. This is one of the most famous Italian men in the world. Makes a mean stromboli. We love him.
Boots on the building. He's got them four. He's gonna run this class setup from now until the next 2 years.
It can be great to mess around with guns.
Oh, Chris Crowder. Listen, I'm not sure what's going on here. Chris has been growing some sort of beard that's happening. The first time that's, he's usually very baby-faced. Now, he's kind of going for some sort of supermodel type thing, or maybe like being a rapper, singer. Not sure.
He's a handsome
He really is. He really is.
A tiny little bit of a user interface there. If you hold a circle, whatever your sort of crouch button is when you're on a ladder, you can fast slide down it. So that's going to get spicy in fight.
Oh, he's on his feet.
He's on his feet.
The Gouch.
Oh, man. We will be playing all day, friends, all day.
You know what, the iron sights here kind of clean.
Well, I think this is great, too, for a lot of, people like, you saw Zenny, you saw Crowder, for those who don't know, they work on the CDL side, they're really in the midst of stuff during the season. They don't get to come to stuff like this that often and see all these content creators. I imagine they're in heaven. I've seen some of the tweets, just having a blast meeting a lot of different people.
So as far as streaks goes, we haven't seen a whole lot. Obviously, cruise missiles there, counter UAV, the classic VTOL is going to be back. Everything. I mean, the Juggernaut is, I think it's the final one, and it looks crazy. And whoever that AFK, get a grip. You are live on that. But yeah, there's a ton of cool stuff. I mean, we're seeing Wilson's in there.
That's
as well.
what I was gonna say. I love that.
We're getting a lot of fun. Chopper Gunner's back. I mean, it's called I think it's called Air Support now, but it's an 1830 you know talk about.
There's a chopper gunner.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be seeing it.
Yeah, Miles, like if we play against each other later today,
I think I'm actually locked on this desk all day. I would love to play. Once the curtains go down, we have to dive on. Can you hear the chain?
Yeah, that's how I visualize like your ankle's just tied to the desk.
They can wheel me in the chair, but it's hard to get down the stairs. Here we go, another cruise.
Redman, how we doing?
And what a shot! He got
Love
two.
the hat over the headset.
He killed Nick Merckx.
All right,
see you later, Nick.
So this is the air support we were saying.
Yeah, this is it's kind of like a lightning strike.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
What is that thing?
What?
The Fennec. Or it's a custom one.
Wait a minute.
Longer range, maybe? But that looks like the Fennec. Yeah, that's the Fennec Iron Sight.
That boy don't recoil.
What?
All right, Breadman's already found a winner.
Yeah, Brett's got
Oh my god!
It does recoil, but it like doesn't.
But he's holding that thing down though.
Yeah,
But,
he's
all right.
So going
he's
straight,
on
but
he's
it
on
looks
mouse, obviously recoil long range. You can manage
Oh,
it
Jesus.
but it doesn't seem like there's a lot. He's just putting them down.
Yeah, cameraman, get in there real close. Show me the hands. Show me the hands. Oh, gun him.
So we played this map yesterday in the 3P mode. That was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
fun.
Museum, yeah, this is a lot of fun. We saw a top down of this on socials recently, but
There we go.
yeah, give me the hands.
You know how that sounds? So sad.
That sounds scary though. You hear that? That better be on my team.
I mean, he is one of the better aimers I've seen though. Like a lot of the tournament stuff where you're talking about mouse and keyboard players, like he is absolutely nuts with it. So not surprised to see him finding some wins in the long range battles, but
I gotta see his recoil control.
So what do you guys think about all these maps so far? What's been your guys' favorite?
Honestly,
yeah, it doesn't look like he's pulling out a whole lot.
honestly, this is museum. Nice big central area, essentially 3 lanes. I mean, there's a second story. We're about to go up there now. This is where Breadman is. It's nice, man. We've got some decent lines of sight. Snipers are going to have a lot of fun here. We played Hardpoint on this map. We played Prisoner Rescue. Courage and I clutched up big time last night, like a 2v5. I had the Prisoner on my back. I was sprinting. And I can hear Jack picking up 3-4 kills. Let's go, baby! Screaming. I'm there sprinting.
I'd be that guy on the team too. I'd be carrying. Yeah.
It was great. It was really great. We had a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool, the opening breaks and stuff like that.
He's on a 15 streak, by the way. He's literally annihilating the lobby. Yeah, let's stick with him. He's on 15 in a row. Another cruise coming in. Bang!
This is the Elgato replay of how this all started.
Oh, he gets 2 again. Just ripping them.
It's the same 2 people. Oh, sorry, this guy. Oh, it's a replay.
Oh, is it? I was going to say. He was on 15 in a row. I thought he got another one. I thought he wrapped his streaks.
It's all good.
Oh, dude, I basically pulled a symphony, dude, when he was casting the pregame lobby.
Oh, and it was so good.
I thought he earned another one. Well, last thing I saw was 15 streak. I was fired up for my guy.
So he put a. Oh, so it's an M4. His just sounds crazy. I think it's the W audio.
It might be his stream, but either way,
it's his stream.
That boy is ripping metal. So, again, it's kind of cool to see there on the bottom side of the screen for a moment there how the perk system works. He's already at his second tier of perks, which I think was Spotter. 19 kills. Let's go, Breadman. And, of course, he's working his way towards a final perk during this hardcore.
Yeah, it's not that crazy. I thought he wrapped streaks down. Is it? He is annihilating everyone.
20.
He's farming.
Yeah, he's literally farming.
Somebody killed Breadman.
Wait, do you guys see the movement though that I was talking about? Like how when you're moving, like your whole body, like it's different than other Call of Duty games. It's very hard to put into words, but once you get your hands on this game, like you can tell everything moves with you. Like usually the gun's fairly stationary, but like everything is moving with you at all times.
And you can see it, so that's
like you can see
for
it.
more of the hardcore players.
Yeah.
Guys that go out there and they're like jiggle peeking. Your hips and your head.
Yeah, like
now.
everything's going.
So it's a little bit different. When you play the 3P mode, you get a better understanding of like how that looks, and you'll see that a little bit later today.
Just like the physics of the character.
The physics of the character has been reimagined, so it's different. So throwing those shoulders.
You got to be a little careful. I mean, everyone's like Shakira out there throwing the hips around. You got to be very. I mean, it's the animation.
I've been compared to Shakira, yeah.
I don't doubt that, but you got to look how smooth the animations can be, and it's just so much fun so far. Oh, is this what it looks like to be on the other side of the Breadman?
Yeah, that's what I was actually wondering.
Wait. We're gonna get up there.
Oh!
I think that was Breadman.
That was Breadman.
Yeah, I believe
that was Breadman.
He's got 25 kills.
He's got that thing locked down.
Quick, get up there, get him. Just go back in there.
I mean, this is going on the timeline for sure. Redman's got clips for days.
I mean, Destroy's calling the streaks in the SAE above.
What do we got here?
Got a sniper.
Just I just think, imagine loading in, like trying to check everything out, run some different guns, and Red Man's just on top.
Yeah, no. He just looked dialed in. I don't think he said a word. Hit it! ADS not quick enough there. 2 posted up on the bridge, just shutting it down. But
he has the pistol on now. We were playing with it. We turned into a fully auto sub yesterday.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
Yeah, so of course, gunsmith is 2 points.
Yeah.
You turn your sidearm into something pretty mean, and of course the ledge hanging. I'm hanging on ledge. Clint, you were singing the Spider-Man song earlier. Hey man, not too. If Spider-Man carried a Glock, yeah, maybe. It is crazy to see like how much damage you can do with that thing, and just, I mean, it's something that we have to learn now as Call of Duty players. I have to now look at funny ledges and see where players are.
Yeah. I was also trying out some of the builder bridge yesterday for the short amount of time that we had. I tried the camera one, just so interesting. Just like go down, go hide in the corner, you can see when they're pushing at you.
You hold your own flank at that.
Yeah, you got your own choke points. It's great.
And again, another thing. Oh! Isaac, he nearly got both of them there. Of course, Isaac, one of our streamers coming in from Europe, made the long trip across.
yeah, I was wondering how many people we had here. I've casted over him in a bunch of Warzone tournaments. He's made some deep runs. Guy's a monster. But as he's just trying to hit some snipes and try some of the different weapons out, Brendan's kind of been annihilated. Hello. I mean, there we go. Another shot gonna hit. Bang.
I'm already really liking the sounds of these guns and like
Right?
crosshairs. Look, like this is something I cannot wait to get. Oh, hell no.
Redman just got a 3-piece, and then Isaac followed up with a 4th in the feed. That was very satisfying.
Oh yeah, they are just tearing them apart. It feels like.
What's that field upgrade he has there? I can't tell.
That could be the portable radar.
That might, yeah.
So that little bad boy kind of gives you sort of a local sort of UAV. But the radius isn't obviously great, but hey man, in a pinch, I'll take it.
Dude, look at that bullet hit. Just hit like right on the panel of the window. So the first shot didn't hit. Second one, that'll go through.
I was using this yesterday. It's a powerful shot.
It
Got a couple
feels.
flags.
Wait, somebody saved him!
Oh my god!
It was Breadman. Nick Merckx was trying to assassinate Isaac. All right, get us out of there.
There's the Fennec. He's working so big in this thing.
I mean, look how different this POV seems versus the start of the POV.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you're moving.
You're going.
That.
Oh,
wow.
Matter
Okay.
though. Okay, Sean J.
Sean fries it. Again, this is that sort of idea of like the different, maybe not play styles, but kind of like player attributes here that you're going for. You know, Crowder is obviously, he's way more aggressive, you know. He might be hitting flank soon, but the way he's kicked himself out.
Whoa.
He's in the mix.
I think something that you could learn a lot, and that all these creators are gonna learn very quickly, is there a lot more paths on the map than you know about. Like on this one specifically, behind Crowder, there's an underground passageway where one of the flags are, and like I didn't even know you could go down there. Like I had to wrap the entire building before I figured out how to get underground. So there's a lot more angles and a lot more passageways than I think a lot of these creators are expecting, and that's why we're gonna see possibly a lot more assassinations, possibly a lot more Freddy corners, and people just popping out literally nowhere.
That play is shot.
Yeah, he's in the perfect area to use this weapon. It's like going out in games, combat. It's a lot of fun to use this weapon.
They're doing a great job in game. They've got the lead now, but again, classic dom, catching flags, UAVs and all sorts of kill streaks coming up. No one's, I don't think anyone's going too crazy with any of the kill streak choices. We did see Crim6 with a VTOL earlier, again, classic from LW19.
Yep.
I wonder if we're going to see any more today.
Ooh, you saw that?
I can imagine. I mean, this is the chance to test everything. Run through, try different weapons. I mean, as much as I say that, we know how a lot of these people are. They're going for crazy clips. They want to drop bombs. They want to have high kill games. So some are going to find stuff they like, little combination they feel comfortable with, and they're going to send it. But Crowder, yeah, he's in the mix right now. Movement, I mean, he seems pretty comfortable so far. Just little hop chows.
Yeah, the bunny hop
freebies.
You're just hopping around. You can even hip fire this one. He's picking up a ton of kills. He's loving this class up. He switched it up.
So one of the big things, I mean, before the show started, I walked around and talked to as many of the streamers as I possibly could. And it was like, you know, you've had a tiny bit of time in the game. How you feeling about this? And almost every single one said, I'm really struggling not to slide everywhere. They've been so used to doing that. They're used to it. From MW19 all the way through the Warzone when, you know, we're on Caldera. It's not the same. It's not the same.
I can say that just from all the wars that I've played. Like, it's going to take, like, my hand just to muscle memory of it. Like, I've been slide canceling now for years. across the map. It's just going to take a little bit to use it, 100%. But I do think my hands are going to be very happy, though. I'm not having to do that constantly across the map.
Yeah, if you try to slide around now, you might even be slower if you just sprint.
Honestly, yeah.
But again, it's how you use it. It's the dive is a really great mechanic. Shaping the slide gets you in different positions.
I like the leave in my head, you know, the ball head. So I think the diving thing's going to be good for me. Just like a bowling ball, you know, Miles? Just sending it through a door, sending it through a window. Maybe diving into someone. You think I can knock somebody out that way?
If there's an attachment for you.
Yeah.
It's like a unicorn head
bayonet or something.
Yeah, bayonet on my head. Okay, that sounds sick though. Honestly, if the devs are listening, let's think about that a little bit.
A bayonet dive kill.
Oh my God, I want that immediately.
Thinking like, you know, I've got this idea of like gold. He's got a big fin in his head.
Yes.
But make that a blade.
Absolutely. I say.
Oh, quick slot again. That is his sidearm. That's his pistol. Again, the range on that bad boy is going to do that crazy, but you know it's going to rip it.
Sniper's just so satisfying. The sound, how deep it is. It's amazing.
It feels like there's a drag to the sniper. When you were using an amp, did you have to leave shot at all, or was it a direct hit?
It felt like an invasion, like I had to leave my shot a little bit, but that could just be and I was trying to shoot across the map. But you can get some things, man. Like I got a couple flaps and this one's super helpful.
Swiping his back, friends.
Nuts it up.
Time's still fast.
64!
What?
Yeah, we thought Fred was popping off. Destroy's up there frying. He's at double the score of everybody in the lobby. All right.
Look at it. Oh man, through the door with the pistol. A lot of windows in that map. There's a lot of glass stuff off those door frames. I found them, even the teams that have like opening breaks and stuff. A lot of sweet nade spots already. I can't wait. I cannot wait. A little peek at the menu here now as well, of course, while Isaac gets ready to get into his next game. So much in Modern Warfare 2. We're almost actually ready to keep the shoulder road, keep the shots.
Well, I guess, listen, it's very different, but I'm also a big like RPG guy, so I like the process of like unlocking things and earning things. It's just like at the core of who I am. So I dig that. Just like the progression over the course of one single map, I think is very cool.
Yeah, it just feels good. It feels good. It feels good to be reminded what you have.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Oh, and I guess we didn't touch on actually is the packages, right? From like, we're talking a lot about the theory crafting.
Yeah.
But we actually have these defined packages. So early on, you just say, you know, I want this playstyle. I just grab this package and go. And then later on, you're like, okay, I like that, but I want to noodle a little bit. You can hop in and create your own packages.
You know, that kind of, it really, people can see that through the default loadouts. And we've packaged in, based on those kind of player behaviors we were talking about earlier, we usually ship 6 or 5 default loadouts, but we have 6 with this one.
Okay.
We found 2 for each behavior, and so those perk packages are already in there. And it's something different in this game. We actually allow you to attach a field upgrade within that, within each loadout. And so it's a little bit more micromanaging, but it felt to us that you're kind of more creating your class and your character for, you know, in that. So people in the beta should really try out those default loadouts because we put a lot of time into how those
Well, I'm curious in like playtesting, did you see like I'm sure everyone has a way they view themselves as the player, like maybe you want to start as more of like a Sentinel type. Did you see like as people got more comfortable with the game, like an evolution towards maybe a faster pace, or what did you notice when playtesting these different types of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall most of our players are rushers.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Depends on the circles you run, but you know, there are these other players, and we wanted to just make sure that, you know, we're supporting all of them. And so, you know, some of the field upgrades can be more Sentinel and trying to hold down positions. But that's why we added in the DDoS, like we said, kind of just say, I've had enough. I want to pause all this stuff and make it go away.
Yeah.
But we also leaned into creating game modes that can facilitate this kind of siege gameplay.
Now we talk about the Russian players, right? But we also want to talk about the pacing, the movement, you know, what it looks like, how it feels to be in game. And when I got a chance to get on the sticks yesterday, something I noticed is it is a little bit slower paced, right? We're going to be sprinting round, not sliding round. And I think another thing I want to talk about is the dolphin dives. I've been diving down escalators, getting prone, looking at hard points, trying to figure out, can I see bomb site B or A? Like,
you know, it's pretty incredible with the movement and how it feels. What was it like making that? What were the decisions behind that pushing forward? Because the feel of the game is huge.
Yeah, I think fluidity, and I mentioned it previously, is like really important, right? But we did make some small tweaks, right? Like slide has a little bit more of a hang up so that people aren't just sliding around the map, so that they're actually moving through spaces, checking corners, and kind of like pacing themselves. But the general movement of guns should be almost exactly the same. And Jeff and I regularly check in. We're like, okay, how are we doing? Like, let's look at last game, let's look at this game. And we try and be consistent in that regard. But there have been these small tweaks, and the dive is one of those tweaks. The ledge hang is one of those tweaks. And those will change how people move through a space, right? You won't throw yourself over a wall, you'll peek that wall first.
Yeah, I love the ledge hangs because, you know, just testing out yesterday, being able to kind of ledge hang and really use it as intel as well. I think when it comes to multiplayer and competitive side, that's kind of where I'm at here, is being able in S&D, just being able to know where people are, give that intel to your team, peek that back down again, making sure you're not getting your dome ripped off by a sniper, of course, major stuff here, but and exciting that the fact that you can get your secondary weapon out and start to put a bit of damage in and help out there. So in terms of ledge hang, where did that come from? What was the idea behind it? You know, why is it so special to have it in the game?
To be honest, it came out of face planting too many times, parachuting in, just missing that ledge, and you're like, nope, that's frustrating. Let's fix that.
Well, we've all been there. Like, whether you've been playing Warzone, like you're trying to like hop and grab it, and you just like, it's like you want to hit the button to like activate the pull-up, but then you hit your shoot, and you're like falling down. It can be so frustrating.
Yeah. So I mean, really, that's where it came from. But
yeah, it was also the high mantle too, right? Like late when we were developing Modern Warfare, and then Warzone started to come out, we had these walls and things. We ended up turning up the mantle height in Warzone, and it didn't feel as polished, but it allowed people to get over walls they otherwise couldn't. But like I said before, you kind of commit, and now you're like, throw yourself over a wall and get shot as you make that transition. So the high mantle is definitely like get up, you can peek, or you can just double tap it and pull yourself over if you're in a hurry. It just adds that extra layer of like, I can be a little bit smarter about how I move through the space.
That's a good note that we make all of the equipment, all of the movement, and all of these things for scalability, and we have to kind of check ourselves that everything we put here is going to show up in Warzone.
Well, now you've got this like metaverse of like there's so
it's a big kind of, like I was saying earlier, right?
It's
like
not hard, man. I'm sure.
It's like, how do you add different things in and make sure it all stays in check and not mess up this ecosystem?
Well, it feels like, I guess for me when I view it, well, what has been the one thing, at least for me, that really separates Call of Duty from a lot of other shooters? It's like, it does feel so fluid, but like there's a limit to that too. You don't need to be an amoeba, like it's just like floating through the map. Like you want to be some realism to it, but like how can you add that realism and the ability to, I mean, think about, I don't know, 10 years ago, what you were able to do with just like interacting with the map and what it's come to now. It's insane how much it's changed.
We had to argue to get sprinting into, I think it was COD 4.
I'm sure.
And we didn't have that, and so like just the evolution of it.
Yeah, it's come a long ways. I played the very first one, so.
Yeah, it's been pretty special, and something else is a bit special as well is the fact that we have all these content creators behind us. We have an Elgato replay for you guys. It's actually Myth here on Prison Rescue. Just going to check this one out and see exactly what went down here. And Prison Rescue is going to be a really exciting one, of course, because you have to get that objective done. You need to go rescue the prisoner, and carrying them out is going to be huge because that icon does disappear. You know, how did it work with this prisoner, being able to put them in the game, knowing that somebody's going to have to run this prisoner back and extract them, and having that defense to be set up later on and have to completely and utterly change the game, go to that defensive mode? What was the kind of makings behind that?
So it was actually kind of a hard mode to make, and we went through all these different iterations, and we had these problems where we're like, hey, the modes around rescuing these prisoners, people, they weren't able to, right? We're like, hey, do this heroic thing, and rounds just kept ending in elimination because it was so hard. And that's why we added the radar sweep that you get when you get the prisoner, and that's why we took the icon away when you pick the prisoner up. Because we were going through, we tried with one prisoner, we tried with two right next to each other, we tried all these different iterations, and it took a while before everything kind of clicked. And often when you're making game modes, you don't really know. Like some of them pretty quickly, you're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But this one took a lot of work, a lot of finessing, and then we finally got it to where there is this balance, and we're seeing more hero moments. And that replay we saw, I think of that one, but while we were talking earlier, I saw him actually pick up the prisoner and take it all the way to extract and have that run, and that's what we wanted, that hero run.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about like how crazy it's gotten. Like I don't envy you guys at all. I mean, I do. You have great jobs, but like the fact that you have to think about like everything within this sandbox, like from when you're trying to make a new mode, like how is some new movement or anything going to affect Warzone? How's it going to affect Ground War Invasion? Like,
I think every game you have that moment at the end of the previous one, you're like, okay, how do we squeeze more blood from the stone?
Yeah, right, right.
And it's like, but then you start iterating and trying different things, and you do kind of like, all of a sudden it's ballooned, and you're like, oh no, we have to cut stuff. We have too much.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, Joe, this is a pretty hard question, but just to kind of wrap things up here, you know, I think when you talk about Call of Duty, when you listen to feedback from players and different generations, they always talk about that nostalgic feeling that they get when they get on the game. What is it about Modern Warfare 2 this time around, this title in particular, do you think that is going to bring generations back, years to come, and say, look, Modern Warfare 2, was my game, and this is why I want to play it year in, year out?
Yeah, I mean, nostalgia is a weird thing, and I know from working on past games and people speaking so highly of these different things, and it's kind of where you're at in your world and your friends and things like that. And so for us, we can't really control that, but we try to lay out kind of, I don't know, for lack of a better term, like you're kind of laying out a nice meal, and you're hoping that everyone enjoys it. And from all the systemic play with all of our equipment and all these different interactive systems, we're just hoping that fans find new and crazy ways to play the game. I don't know. What about you?
You just want it to be fun. I mean, at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Because nostalgia, you gotta probably tune some of it out. Like some stuff, that's tough.
You don't know what's going to become nostalgic, right? You don't know. And I think one of our strengths is that I run into people all the time, and they're like, I'm an SMB player. Yeah. I'm a Warzone player. I'm a Blender player. Like, you know, like I love TDM. I just play that. And so it's interesting that we're fortunate to be able to make all these different offerings so that people can come into our game and they're like, I love big war, vehicular combat, I'm going to ground war, right? And so I think that's an advantage that we have, that people can find their place, the thing they love, bring their friends in, and then years to come, they're like, I remember that was awesome.
Yeah, a bunch of different experiences for sure. And I gotta say, the fact that we haven't even really scratched the surface yet, you know, we're here at the reveal, we're seeing it for the first time. There's so many questions that we have as well. I want to know what some of the challenges have been for you guys to develop this game, to really get it to the point that it is now, where you are comfortable to show it to the world and reveal it. You know, what some of the hardships been along the way in this ride?
You know, I think the big kind of elephant in the room is just, you know, a lot of this was made from people's homes. You know, you were looking at people's art and work that people in their home spaces is their living room. I work out of a shed in my backyard. There's people in their mom's basement.
I bet it's a cool shed though.
You know, but the fact that we can get this done through, you know, millions of Zoom meetings and millions of kind of keeping everybody up to date and so many different studios, not just ours, you know, all these different Activision studios to kind of keep on point and make sure that everything is, you know, good and great. It's been tricky.
Yeah, I think it's a great segue to, like, we have a really talented team, and we're up here representing that team, whether it's the multiplayer team, the engineering team, the animation team, our team.